PAAS just went full silver supernova, my people. A more than 1100% resurrection from the ashes is the metallic cult revival we prayed for. And this is Dayrade Daily, where we worship momentum and bully our entries until they behave. So smash that like button before PAAS halts again. Subscriptions fuel a prophecy mid-candle too.
PAAS lit up and my heart rate went matching candle levels. I scalped the opening burst twice, then realized volatility is running nearly 700% today, and I am the liquidity piñata swinging in the middle. Blindfold on, by the way.
Silver flyer plus jet on caffeine. That is not trading, that is performance art, my guy. PAAS was a gap-and-go freight train. You buy tight against the opening range low once, maybe twice. Not 20 arcade swipes straight into a buzzsaw.
Fundamentally, Pan American is finally getting paid for that production leverage you have. Silver squeezing, plus gold sympathy, plus miners re-rating off macro. So the tape looks insane, but underneath it, that intraday trend was classic strong gap and hold. VWAP never even sniffed panic territory or real supply.
Classic trend, sure. Except every tick looked like it wanted my soul. Also, hey, if you're stress watching with me, tap subscribe mid-panic so I feel less alone when my stop gets haunted live. Emotional support subs only.
BMNR up almost 95% in a so-called boring financial name. That is not a bank. That is a slot machine. With filings, my people, this was pure gap plus loan book rumor plus social sentiment overdrive. Opening drive breakout heaven with tiny floats screaming.
You call BMNR boring while it tried to launch through planetary resistance. It was a microcap capital experiment with a volume spike plus thin float. Every candle a little trapdoor. You only touch those near VWAP with tight risk, or you get instant tuition payment.
Also, financials ripping like that with overall sentiment firmly bullish tells you people are betting the credit scare was overdone. BMNR was the poster child for that rotation. Intraday reclaim of pre-market high, then a clean flag for a second push. Textbook. If you ignored the chat screaming moon emojis into every candle.
My chat absolutely did not ignore the emojis. They spammed rockets the second BMNR ticked green, and I FOMO punched in mid-candle with a spread wider than my sleep schedule. Got wicked out, then watched it rip without me like a teaching slide on regret.
Trading tip number 1. If the candle body is bigger than your entire morning range, and the spread looks like a canyon, you place an alert, not a market order. You are a trader, not a donation service to the inside quote.
Speaking of donations, Aries blasting more than 720%. That is not appreciation. That is a private equity deity waking up and demanding offerings. My movement caught that opening breakthrough pre-market high. It was like watching old money discover meme volume for the first time.
Aries has real fundamentals, though. They beat on fee revenue and guidance, and portfolio marks looked healthier than expected. So when the tape realized that in this overall bullish backdrop, you got that squeezy intraday trend where every dip to the 5-minute moving average was buyable with defined risk.
Buyable if you are not me. I tried to fade Aries on the third push because my brain went, this cannot keep going. Spoiler, it could. I got steamrolled like an educational PowerPoint slide titled, "Do not short strength."
You shorted a fee machine during a risk-on stampede. Congratulations. You fought a tidal wave with a spoon. Trading tip number 2. Do not fade strong names on day 1 of a re-rating, unless you enjoy generous slaps from the market.
Look, overall vibe today is chaos, but friendly chaos. Realized volatility near 700% means one good opening drive in PAAS or Aries can pay your whole week, my people. You do not need to click every blinking light to eat.
Exactly, volatility like this magnifies both edges and mistakes. So pick your spots. For example, PAAS, opening range breakout with a stop under that first consolidation, then trail partials. Or NEM and HMY as quieter sympathy trends for traders who dislike literal roller coaster candles.
NEM and HMY quieter. Bro, Newmont moved like my rent due notification. That 570% style move in a minor is wild. But yeah, it was actually tradable. Clean higher lows instead of teleport candles of doom.
NEM was the grown-up in the precious metals party. Volume heavy, but the structure was stair steps, not fireworks. You buy first reclaim of VWAP after the opening push, scale out into prior resistance and go make a sandwich. Emotionally, not literally.
Meanwhile, HL pops more than 720%, and suddenly every legacy silver boomer is in my DMs. My people yelling, "Told you miners would rise again," like I did not ignore them for tech for 3 months straight. I repent selectively.
You absolutely ghosted the miners. Do not rewrite history, because they finally invited you back to prom. HL was the little brother follow-through name you scalp on pullbacks once PAAS sets the tone, not the hero you marry into a swing account.
Also remember, social sentiment was screaming about shiny metals all session. You had that classic feedback loop where every new high spawned more retail chatter, so volume stepped up again, which is great for intraday liquidity but terrible if you chase exhaustion candles at the very top ticks.
Speaking of social chatter, SATS just teleported nearly 600% on satellite cope and space memes. Every forum was like, "We are early to the future, bro," while they all bought the same breakout, about 30 seconds late.
SATS was not early to anything that was a halt machine. You only touch with tiny size on clear structure, one shot and you are done. Otherwise you are speedrunning a margin call with live ammo.
But come on, Sats. Reclaiming pre-market high after that first halt? Pure cult moment, my people. You see that level hold? You take your lottery ticket, and if it flushes, you close it. No diamond hands on communications chaos. Just disciplined degeneracy.
For clarity, that was a textbook liquidity event. Early longs plus shorts trapped from yesterday, all forced to transact at once. Once it stabilized around VWAP, you had one decent higher low setup. Then, honestly, sitting out was the best play for sanity and survival stats.
I absolutely did not sit out. I longed the second higher low, then flipped short on the same candle, then flat because my brain blue screened. That is not trading. That is esports with worse lighting and actual financial damage.
Esports at least has practice mode. You went straight to ranked on a meme gap. If you find yourself clicking long, short, flat within 30 seconds, you do not need more skill. You need fewer buttons and probably a timeout.
Chat right now is spamming jet remove hotkeys. Keep that energy, my people. And while you are there, tap like, so the algo thinks we are responsible adults, not four gremlins screaming about volatility into the void.
On the tech side, LITE quietly exploded, more than 500% off that guidance surprise. Every optical networking nerd lost their minds. And intraday, you had this gorgeous series of bull flags, each consolidation a little tighter than the last, like a textbook drawing.
Lumentum was my safe space today, which is wild to say that a 500+% mover was the calm one. Spreads were civilized, the trend respected intraday levels. It was like a momentum stock that passed therapy and actually reads trading books.
LITE is how a grown chart behaves. Major news gap, high volume grind. You buy first consolidation above opening range. Risk a few points, not your dignity. That is the trade you size up while you nibble meme trash for fun only.
Exactly, my people know the rule. We go heavier in lifestyle trend names and treat SATS and BMNR like scratch tickets. The cult survives by prioritizing survival, not clout, screenshots, or leaderboard flexes.
Tell that to CRWV though. The tech name ripped more than 510%, and every time I thought it was stopping, it just did another staircase break. My scalp rules melted like a cheap stop order.
CRWV was pure speculative software mania. Some buzz about partnerships, plus momentum scanners blasting it into every trader dashboard. Structurally, it gave you that intraday base around prior resistance, then broke again. You could actually map risk if you stopped memeing for 10 seconds.
So definitely not Jet's setup then. If the plan involves patience or drawing lines, he is already refreshing social feeds. Trading tip number 3. If you cannot explain your CRWV trade in one sentence, you probably should not be in it.
My CRWV thesis was literally, it is going brrr. So yeah, guilty. But hey, I still bailed near VWAP when it finally cracked, instead of revenge shorting the floor. Personal growth, baby.
That is character development. This is what Dayrade Daily is about, people. We roast, we learn, we somehow survive these 600+% swings, and then we brag modestly tomorrow in chat, like disciplined clowns.
Can we talk risk for like 30 seconds before Toro declares himself king of silver? Intraday today, the key was scaling. You start with smaller size on aggressive open drives like PAAS and SATS, then only add after the stock proves it can respect levels, not just vibes.
King of Silver's already on my resume. But yes, risk matters, my people. Tiny confession. I chased a PAAS extension candle with size way too spicy. Got clipped and had to rebuild the position from sanity instead of ego.
Finally, some honesty. See, veterans still do dumb things. Difference is we cut it quick and do not revenge click for 3 hours. My old version would have shorted every new high until retirement vanished into the bid.
Old version Grizz sounds like current me, except with worse cardio. That is why I scalp and pace emotionally, not literally, around my apartment while NEM and HMY yo-yo my sanity.
Speaking of cardio, you two talk about risk like you invented it. My entire first year at the fund was position sizing spreadsheets and getting yelled at for 5 basis points. Meanwhile, today, Jet is out here full sending BMNR on impulse entries.
Yeah, and yet here you are with us degenerates. Fancy school, plus spreadsheets, and still hanging with a guy whose trading journal is basically memes and heart rate screenshots, annotated with FOMO timestamps.
That is the beauty, my people. We got hedge brain Orin, doom monk Grizz, caffeine goblin, Jet, and me, the prophet who ignores all our advice, evenly. This is market democracy in its purest dysfunctional form, and you are all co-conspirators.
Dysfunctional is generous. We spent 5 minutes on cardio and goblins while PAAS printed another leg. This is your reminder that podcasts do not pay your losses. Your discipline does. And your risk plan definitely does.
Speaking of discipline, lightning round time, my people. Bold predictions. Let us go. And no hedging with maybes. Prediction 1. PAAS becomes the unofficial currency of this channel. If silver holds trend, I swear realized volatility stays above 600%. And every dip becomes a community group project with risk-managed offerings.
Prediction 2. NEM gets tired of behaving and does one massive fake breakout. Traps every late arrival, then grinds sideways for 3 days. Teaching the ancient lesson of do not buy the last inch of euphoria, or you become the lesson.
Prediction 3. SATS holds so many times tomorrow. Regulators start a group chat just for that ticker. And somewhere, a scalper discovers religion mid-circuit breaker while mashing flatten.
Prediction 4. LITE and CRWV become the new intraday training wheels. Stable enough for real plans, wild enough to keep you interested. Which means half of you will still ignore them and chase the no-name microcap instead, because chaos feels productive.
Prediction 5. BMNR has one more face rip left. Squeezes everyone who spent all day calling the top. Then mean reverts just hard enough to humble my own cult too, and remind us stops are not optional.
Prediction 6. Aries chills out and becomes the serious swing name. Social feeds forget it existed for a week, while quiet traders milk it with boring, methodical flags and very unsexy green P&L.
Prediction 7. My hotkeys survive another session. I resist at least one FOMO chase in HL or HMY and treat them like civilized metals instead of arcade cabinets. Growth arc unlocked if I pull it off.
And prediction 8, somebody watching this actually reduces position size tomorrow. Sticks to one or two high-quality setups and ends the day green without needing therapy, which honestly is the real alpha and the only flex that compounds.
If that is you, my people, screenshot it, tag us, and remember, the algorithm likes risk management almost as much as we do. Hit like mid-recap, hit subscribe between trades, and join the volatility cult. Responsibly, not recklessly.
And if it is not you, at least come back tomorrow so we can roast your choices in real time. This has been Dayrade Daily. Survive the night so you can trade the mess again, and hit subscribe on your way out.